So this morning, the president is urging West Virginia voters not to vote for a Republican Senate candidate named Don Blankenship. He's a former coal company CEO. He just finished serving a one-year prison term for his role in a mining explosion that killed 29 people. Despite that, he is gaining in the polls against his two Republican rivals ahead of the election tomorrow. He's doing it with ads like these.
Swamp Captain Mitch McConnell has created millions of jobs for China people. While doing so, Mitch has gotten rich. In fact, his China family has given him tens of millions of dollars. One of my goals as U.S. Senator will be to ditch Cocaine Mitch.
You heard that correctly. He calls the Senate Majority Leader Cocaine Mitch, and he says that he has a so-called China family. Aside from being deeply offensive, what does this mean to the party, and why is he surging in the polls? Joining me now, Lanhee Chen, former public policy director for Mitt Romney, and Nina Turner, CNN political commentator, former Democratic state senator from Ohio. Thank you very much. So, Nina, the president takes to Twitter this morning and says, you know, don't vote for him. Basically, it's really going to hurt us. The people of West Virginia have a really great chance to make a difference. The problem is Don Blankenship, currently running for Senate, can't win the general election. He's saying, look, you're going to leave the state in the hands of Joe Manchin, the Democrat there. We can't win if you elect Blankenship. This is also a president who supported Roy Moore until the bitter end. So is this a lesson learned?
Maybe, Poppy, but it's called a lesson in politics. This is politics 101. And, you know, the fact of the matter is that the president is trying to get the candidate that he believes could probably do better in the general. But, you know, that remains to be seen. The voters of West Virginia will certainly have the final say. But this is politics 101.
What do you think, Lanhee? I mean, over the last 6 days of the race, you've had Don Blankenship, because he's so wealthy, really outspend his rivals, spending $2.5 million on ads so far, much more than the other two combined. Some Republican strategists are saying that the other two Republican nominees for West Virginia Senate attacking each other really helped propel Blankenship to the position he's in now. I mean, what does it mean for your party if he wins the nomination?
Well, I think that dynamic, Poppy, is very problematic. It's not just in West Virginia. We're seeing it also in a few other states. But look, Blankenship, he has no business being in the U.S. Senate. I'm glad the president did this because, let's be honest, the president's word carries a lot of weight in West Virginia. He's somebody whose approval rating is quite high in West Virginia amongst not just Republican voters, but voters generally. And so him coming out against Blankenship is very impactful. If Blankenship were to be the nominee, this would be a huge problem for Republicans. This would be akin to very similar sort of situations we've seen out of the states, including Alabama. So I hope he is not successful tomorrow, and I'm glad the president did weigh in.
All right, so you applaud the president's actions on that front. I wonder what you think about the president keeping Rudy Giuliani on his legal team and so close to him, because again, this weekend, Lanhee, you know, on the Sunday morning talk shows, Giuliani threw bombs. I mean, he said the president may plead the fifth, and he also talked about potential other payments, potentially to other women, when answering this question. Listen.
You said this was a regular arrangement he had with Michael Cohen. So did Michael Cohen make payments to other women for the president?
I have no knowledge of that. But I would think if it was necessary, yes. He made payments for the president, or he conducted business for the president, which means he had legal fees, monies laid out, and expenditures, which I have on my bills to my client.
Lanhee, is the president wise to keep Giuliani on his team and to keep him so close?
You know, it seems to me that the problem here is that Rudy Giuliani is out there throwing out a bunch of theories. And this is not a political issue. This becomes a legal question. Is Rudy Giuliani putting the president in a more difficult legal position by throwing things out there like, hey, there might be other payments, or hey, he might plead the fifth? These are the sorts of things, if I were the president of the president's team, right, I would not want this around me. So this is the big problem with Rudy Giuliani right now.
But Nina, do you think, as a former politician, do you think there's maybe a political strategy here that is muddy the water enough so the American people have no idea what on earth to think?
Well, that's something the president has been good at from the beginning. One thing that we know that we can expect from this White House and from this administration is lies, rumors of lies, and more lies to come. That's how he rolls. And so Mayor Giuliani is just simply doing what President Trump is asking him to do. So you make a very good point about muddying the water. Whenever the president's lips are moving, for the most part, we should expect lies to come from them unless proven otherwise. But Papa, you made a very good point about, you know, the Blankenship in terms of the money being spent. One thing
Right.
we really do need in this country is campaign finance reform, because folks should not be able to buy office. And China people, and then mentioning Negroes, black folks have not been called Negroes for centuries. So
Yeah,
Blankenship
it's-
shouldn't be there for many reasons.
The language is stunning and deeply offensive. To both of you,
Yes.
Giuliani told Bob Costa of the Washington Post, he said, "We're setting the agenda. Everyone's reacting to us now, and I feel good about that because that's what I came in to do." So Giuliani thinks that he's succeeding, Lonnie, by setting the agenda here, getting people talking about this being the lead. Is he right?
Look, I'm not so sure that this is the agenda item that the president or Republicans, quite frankly, want to be talking about. I think they'd much rather be talking about the potential peace talks in North Korea. They'd much rather be talking about the economy. They do not want to be talking about Rudy Giuliani's newfangled legal theories. So in my mind, setting the agenda in this way is not quite the right approach.
10 seconds left. Nina.
I mean, listen, the president knew what he was getting when he hired Mr. Giuliani. So this is how this president likes to roll. This is politics as usual for this White House.
Nina Turner, Lonnie Chen, appreciate you both being here. Thank you very much.